guys, we were closed yesterday for Juneteenth, and I don't know why, but today keeps feeling like it's Monday. It's Friday. It's a weird, funny feeling. Anyways, we have a really special guest for you guys this Friday. All of our guests are special, but this woman really always has my heart every time. She's my travel buddy. I'm so excited to have her on here because her perspective is a really unique one between her business and her worldly travels and all of her referrals that she has out there. There is a lot for her to share. So, welcome to the call. ALC member, luxury agent, coastal superstar, Janet Darrow.
Okay,
Welcome, Janet.
thank you.
And super cool Zoom background. I love it. When people always say, or sometimes they'll say your name wrong, Darrow or something, and I'm like, no, it's like the arrow, because I always think of your logo,
Mhm.
Darrow, like the arrow. So, Janet, why don't you introduce yourself a little bit? Tell us a little bit about your business, for those that may not be familiar with you on the call.
Okay, yeah. Janet Darrow, probably my unique thing is that I lived abroad for 13 years. And that really shaped how I joined KW. It also shaped my business, and my biggest sales have been to international um, friends. So, yeah, my business is a hodgepodge of working by referral, doing some of the 72 sold, and definitely enjoy the coaching from that. Also, have coached with Buffini, which is, again is working by referral. But again, the international was how I originally built the business, and it still plays a big part in things today.
So, talk more about that because we do actually have some people here on the call that have, connections or have kind of tried to dabble a little bit in worldwide. So, talk to us more about that. Like, as an agent, how do you just decide to get involved with that? Tell us more about the community too that Keller Williams has.
Yeah. So what happened to me was I had lived abroad. I lived in Vienna, Austria for 11 years. I lived in Dubai for 2 years. Moved back to the States, was getting ready to move to Ireland with my then husband, and he decided divorce time. So then it was like, okay, well, I'll stay in California. That's fine. That's where I'm from. But now I need to find a job because I've been out of the labor market for, 13 years. Um, so I thought, oh, I'd watched a lot of, British Sky TV and seen a lot of the home makeover shows and things. House Hunters Internet. I'll do international real estate. Okay. Um, Sounds easy. So, I was very naive going into it as far as, oh, you just show three houses. No, I mean, it wasn't quite that naive, but, it was definitely had no idea what the job truly is. And so I have this club that I'm part of called FAUSA, Federation, or it's FACO Alumni USA, and it's for people who have been part of this international network. And when they move back to the States, they join the alumni arm of the association, and it allows them to be connected to this greater community that spreads around the world. And so I'd been there, and my friend Elizabeth was there, and her husband Bill was there. And so we were in Colorado having a dinner together. And, I said, well, I'm going to be going into real estate. And Bill said, okay, well, you have to join KW. And I said, okay, okay, why? And he said, well, I'm going to do for KW what I did for Remax, and it's make it a very international company, but we're doing it in a different way, and it's going to be fabulous. So Bill just happens to be the president of KW worldwide. So that's the international arm of Keller Williams. So he was just my buddy Bill from Austria. We used to go out to dinner and hang out together. Never really thought much of his job because I wasn't involved in real estate. I was living abroad and not buying real estate at the time. Um, Never really thought much of it, but he had turned Remax into an international brand and had been brought on to KW to do the same thing, only better. And he has succeeded. So that's how I kind of ended up joining KW. and having like a muckety muck friend in the company. It's just like I was like the lowliest of the low agents, but had a powerful friend in the company. And KW really adds new countries every year to their roster. And you can look outside of KW if you want to do international. There's an organization called FIOPSI, which is a good one to belong to. And that's the international network of real estate agents. And that's a really good resource for finding agents in other countries who are, interested in liaising with, because our business is so much built on referral, and in the international community, that's 100%. I would not go to Belize. I could go to Belize and sell a property. I would not go to Belize and sell a property because I don't know. I don't know enough about it. But I do have a really good network. So if somebody who knows me is interested in buying Belize, I can put you in touch with Macarena or Kate or some of the other agents there and make sure that you're well taken care of. So for me, it's just building these international relationships so that I have people in every country that I can use as a resource. Because, somebody might be looking in, some remote village. So does KW have somebody there, or can they recommend somebody there who would be a good resource? So, that's kind of how the international thing built. And my biggest sales have been through the international community. People that have actually bought and sold around here that are part of my group. So
You
I,
know, you kind of describe that journey, beautiful journey into that it seems like it just made sense for you to kind of go into that international route,
Mhm.
obviously with those connections. And that story started with the fact that you were getting to know someone and you were networking and you were building relationships.
Mhm.
Same thing with the rest of your business. You're getting to know someone in another country and building relationships. So talk to me more about that. Like, what's your strategy around that? Any tips and things like that for people to start to get to know people and build those connections?
Yeah, I would say probably, and I am a little lazy about this myself. I mean, go to the conferences. That's a great place of meeting people outside of your own network. Join different Facebook groups, things like that. I mean, those are places to start. Join some Zoom class or join one of the communities that Keller Williams has and start building some friendships there. You can keep in touch with people like after a conference or an event. I have postcards that have my, business information on them, and I'll write the postcard right to them, because it's easy to forget people when you're meeting 100 people in a day.
Right.
Write down some notes. We met at that, that session on blah, blah, blah. I'm the one that did blah, blah, blah. I gave you my card and it had a paper clip on it. Just ways of just you remember me. And jot down a few notes about how we met and said, it was so nice talking to you. I'd like to keep the connection going. Let's connect on command. And, and here's my big postcard that they get to, that have made the effort. Now, the best thing you can possibly do is stay in touch with those people because, it's easy for them to fall off the radar. I have had a few people who've been absolutely outstanding of reaching out to their database of other real estate agents. And they will call me before, a family reunion or before mega camp, and they will reach out and say, "Hi, Janet, just calling to see how your business is doing. Remember me? I'm Joe from Plano." And reestablishing that connection. And are you going to be at family reunion? What are some of the things you're looking forward to at family reunion? Is there a chance that we can get together there? Simple. Just,
And that's so important and that's so key is a couple pieces that you said there. One is the fact that you don't go to these events and sink into the wall. You know, I always think about that like gif, that Homer Simpson gif that went around where he just kind of like backs into the shrub or into the bushes. You know, when you go to these events, you're intentionally sticking yourself out there and meeting people by
mhm,
giving them something that's going to be memorable, whether it's a business card. Janet has these super cute little paper clips she puts on there to stick out. We've seen people, I know Jan and I, one year, you know, there was people that's handing out like they hand out these crazy gifts, or some will write books or just fun little things. It doesn't have to be something big, but the point is it's memorable. It's just like when we go to open houses and these clients have dozens of business cards from all these other agents. We have the same thing when we go to these events, right? We meet a lot of people and it's hard to keep it straight.
yeah,
We have to follow up with them.
yeah. And it's really important, I think, to make the notes and go through and write those postcards or do whatever you do to remember these people at the very beginning. Because just like when you go and you show a bunch of properties, they start kind of blending in with one another. And it was like, was that the one that had this?
Yeah.
Was that the house that had the fountain? I can't really remember because they start flowing together. So I think it's really important to, jot down those notes at the very beginning because otherwise they'll forget, or you'll forget them, they'll forget you. It's so easy, it's good to make that first step, but you need to make the second and third steps too.
And sometimes, you know, you just said Plano, for example, right, as a city. Sometimes you think like, oh, I'll never have a client that's going to move to Belize or Plano or something. And yet you really the answer or question or the comment should be you never know when you're going to have a client that's going to go there. And you want to have an established connection with someone who's going to treat your client the way you would treat them, right?
And the thing is, okay, maybe you won't have a client going there, but there might be a friend or somebody in the office that does have somebody that's going there. And you're the person who referred this person to them, which makes them think of you with very good will, and that possibly when they have somebody, they're going to recommend you. I mean, we could be sitting around with a catcher's mitt waiting for one specific person to buy or sell a house. But that's not what's important in referrals. It's the network that each person brings. They have like this web of people that goes six, seven, deep because they know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody who's moving to Long Beach. And then somebody who's moving someplace else. And if you can give these referrals and you can be gracious in the people you refer to because you know that they're good and you know that they're going to take care of your clients or your friends' clients, your colleagues' clients, and you get a nice reputation for somebody who refers.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you're a Buffini gal. So I always love my Buffini people because you know who they are, because they have beautiful penmanship usually, because you guys are writing
I don't think
handwritten
that's
notes all the
me.
time. But that's a part of that model, right? Writing
Yeah,
handwritten notes,
writing notes.
intentional touches. Like tell us more about that model or that thought process of building the referrals.
Um, I like Buffini because I don't like calling total strangers. Now, mind you, I call a lot of total strangers because I have to, but it's like the nucleus of your business starts from the people you know and the people they know, and it kind of mushrooms out that way. The basics of Buffini are you calls, notes, and pop buys. You're making regular calls to your database. You're reminding them constantly, in a nice, pleasant way that you are a real estate agent and a very valuable one. You try to be a valuable resource to them with information. But you're reaching out to them on a regular basis with calls. Anytime you want to write at least two note cards a day to go out to various people. And that can be really challenging at the beginning. It gets much easier. You're on social media. You see when somebody's doing something or that something popped up or you see something that reminded you of them. Just send out a little note. Um, then the other one are pop buys, which of course we've been talking Lolo a lot.
Yeah.
Hopefully we're getting close. And that's essentially stopping by on a regular basis, with something, super simple. Springtime, bring like a packet of forget-me-not flowers. I just stop by, want to make sure that you don't forget me. If you're, I just there's this and this going on right now, and just have a pleasant little pop by with a little gift. And it doesn't have to be anything that costs something. Maybe it's just some information about the housing market, like a sheet of paper. I mean, it doesn't have to be anything major, but it's just coming by and seeing them in person on a regular basis. The nice thing about the Buffini thing is that you start with friends, you end up with more. It because you are making this point of going and seeing these people and talking to these people on a regular basis or holding events where you're going to see them, it really strengthens your friendships. So it has this wonderful side benefit that creates this really strong network of people who care about you, that you care about, and that you're servicing in a professional way. But they're also friends.
hmm And that's what, events too, when on the agent side, when you built these with people and you go to family reunion, that's one of the reasons it's called family reunion, because then you get to go and you get to see all these amazing people. Or think about in your own business locally here with your clients and people, you're having like, I've been to some of Janet's little wonderful house parties and things like that. She'll put together concerts and you see all these clients and people that she knows and neighbors and people that are coming out and she welcomes them into her home. That's something that's special, right? We don't always do that. That's something that's more than a lead. It's more than a transaction. That's a relationship, just like you
Mhm.
shared. That's a
That's
relationship.
100%.
And that's what's going to keep feeding you for years, right? That's going to keep feeding you for years. So I want to shift focus just because of time, and I would be remiss if we didn't get to talk about this topic. I don't know if you guys know this, but I'm going to let you in a little secret. You have a little YouTube star here with us this morning. Over 12,000 followers, you guys, on her YouTube channel, consistently on her videos, getting thousands of views. And I definitely want to pick your brain about this. So let's shift gears and talk about your YouTube stuff, okay? So tell us a little bit more about that strategy. Like, when did you decide to do this? Where was your head when it came to like launching this YouTube channel?
Yeah, the YouTube started a long time ago. I decided I wanted to do some neighborhood videos. And what's nice about video is it lasts forever. It's still there for people, and it keeps giving. It's a gift that keeps giving. So I had created like one was, and I doubled up on a lot of them just for expense. So I had one, I started with Alameda's Heights where I live, and then I went on to Belmont Shore and Belmont Park, and then I did Bluff Park and Belmont Heights. I got a call recently, and I'm really so sad that I didn't get this house because I loved this house so much. Um, but I would never have had that interview. It was this woman, and she had this house at 241 Euclid. It was this fantastic house that had been in her family for 70 years, and she lives out of state. They've kept the house in the family, but it was time for them to sell because they were, going to be building something in Texas. And she called me because she saw the one video of Belmont Heights, and she said, "You nailed it. That was really good." So, we definitely wanted to talk to you. So, unfortunately, I didn't get it, but I wouldn't have even got my foot in the door and had an opportunity if I hadn't had that video out there. So, just like I said, I did that thing probably 7 or 8 years ago,
Wow.
but it's it's still out there, so that's cool. And I have done these music videos, which have been the things that I've done the past several years, and they're just parody videos. It started with the open house song, which that song Baby Shark, that's like such an earworm. So it was in my head so much that, I was like, buying grocery do do do. I'm, ironing my clothes do. Open house do. And then I went, open house. Oh, I think I have a song there. And it was just this like kind of random thing. And then that kind of mushroomed to doing other music videos. Now, the thing that's happened about a year and a half ago, they really started taking off. I don't know why. I do Google Ads, particularly with, home things. Um, so I would advertise, a minimal amount. But finally, like one of them just caught on and it's just kind of mushroomed. So I have a nice following now, which I can utilize and leverage when I'm going to listing appointments. You're going to get more views on your property because I'm going to be advertising your property and it's going to be on this channel. And because I have this, huge base, it just translates. There's going to be more people that are going to be aware of your home that's for sale. But with regards to the music videos, I've kind of shifted into AI mode now. So, um, and this started about 2 weeks ago. So this is new, but I'm kind of going crazy with it. So the music videos, I'm using Chat GPT. Usually I would write them myself, write the lyrics. I'm kind of a wordsmith, but I'm using Chat GPT. So say I have a new listing. Um, I have this listing that's a condo on 4th Street and it's big. So I said, ChatGPT, could you write me a song, a catchy hit song that talks about this wonderful condo that's located here? These are the major things, but I really want to hit on this tagline, size matters, because this is a big condo and everything's super big and super sized in this condo. And so it did. It wrote me a little song. I tweaked some of it. I fed it into this other program, which is an app called Suno, Suno, and it's a songwriting. And I know there's a few that will just kind of produce your song for you and publish your song for you. So Suno, you came up with like catchy lyrics or catchy tune to it. It would spit out a few different versions. You say, I want this sung in the manner of the Eagles, or have it something with like a lot of brass and horns, or have it be very classical. And it spits out this like award-winning pop tune. What's also kind of cool about this that I am realizing where the real value of this, yes, I'm going to come to every listing appointment now with the song about the house because I'm going to talk to them about the house, tell me a little bit about it. I'm going to have some pre-marketing already done with the song about their house. But where it's really, really going to pay off, I think, is I was having an open house. I was telling everybody about the song about this open house, about this property, and they're like, "Oh, AI, I don't know." And I'm like, "Well, you because a lot of what you get at these open houses at like the brokers opens are vendors." So I said, Peter, let me write a song about your business. Boom, boom, boom. The next day had three versions of a song. He's like, this is the coolest thing ever. So I've gifted him something that did not take much time on my behalf. I just copied and pasted from his website the information about his company. I said, these are some of the things I want to hit on. It came up with the song. He likes classical music. I said, this is interesting. Fed it in. We have these little like minuet pieces about his business. He's thrilled. He says he's going to promote my business. He's going to just talk about how awesome I am everywhere he goes. So win-win. Think about doing that for your customers, for your clients, for, somebody had a baby, you could write a song about the baby, the new baby in the house or something. And it's something that's so easy. It's very inexpensive. I just see so many applications where you can gift a song.
Hmm.
for somebody's business, for some of your vendors, just to strengthen that relationship. I just, for me, this is a big win for AI, that's personally saving me a lot of money and it's giving me a lot of opportunity to um, do some nice things for my database.
When people think AI, you automatically think Chat GPT, right?
Mhm.
Or, something, one of the major hubs like that people are think of, and they only think about that application. And AI is something that's so expansive
Yeah.
that can build one thing on another. So if you're really only using one tool, you're missing out on some really amazing opportunities. Like you said, taking some from Chat GPT and putting it into the Suno app, and then circling it around, and that's being smart and researchative, and really utilizing the tools that you have to build a meaningful connection.
Hmm.
And that's taking it out of AI. I read a good book. I don't know if you've ever read it, called Giftology. It's classic. It's really short. If you haven't read it, it's actually written by a guy who was one of the top selling Cutco salesmen. And he talks about it's the art of gift giving and the intentional thought behind it. And this absolutely drives it home because it's like, hey, when you don't know what to give something very personal. Give something like very unique and very specific. And that song idea is a great one,
Hmm.
to really think about rather than a gift card or something, like dropping it in the mail. Those are nice too. But this is something that could just be way personalized. That's great.
Yeah, my friend Dee Dee, her husband died unexpectedly,
Oh,
and she was very sad. She got a dog, Bert. Bert makes Dee Dee smile again. And so she posted a silly little video of Bert missing the ball that she was throwing. And she said, "This is a stupid video, but he just makes me laugh." And so I wrote a little song, about Dee Dee and Bert and stuff, made her very misty-eyed. But it's a way of giving something that's going to strengthen your relationship with them, and and if it's a business or something, it's something that they can use. So it's a valuable tool for me.
that's great. So back to your YouTube real quickly. So content on there is great. So neighborhood content, music content, so personal, like telling who you are, right? That's who you are, telling that story. But also making sure you have that business in there. You've got great city walkthroughs, and you do the American Dream TV. Is that what it's called too?
Yeah, although I'm going to be I'm backing away. I'm watching finances a little bit more right now. So that's something that I've done for a year. I've got some good content. I just had my swan song. I just filmed an episode on the Aqualink in Long Beach, which is part of our public transportation that's actually on the water, so that you can, during the summer months, you can go from Alamedas Bay Landing on the east side over to the Queen Mary or
Very cool.
to Shoreline Village in the Pike area and the aquarium. So it's something great for tourists, but it's something kind of fun that we can utilize too. So had a nice last day filming on the water, but I've made some good contacts through filming. So that's I've got a good cameraman and some other resources from that, and a lot of good content that I can repurpose for going forward.
And that's great content because then people who are searching for Long Beach City happen upon your informational video about some of the fun things and facts about the city.
Yeah,
And then they happen upon your YouTube channel, which then posted right at the top is one of your songs or your home tours or something like that. So it's all about being that sticky octopus, right? Creating something that people can come in and be a part of and know who you are and start to build that connection and rapport with you before, like you said, you even step through the door,
right.
right? I love that. So, Janet, we're getting ready to wrap up here. Anything else you have that you wanted to share with the group? It
Uh,
went by quick.
I don't know. Yeah, I would just say, for me, the things that made sense were international relationships, and the videos and stuff, because I'm a drama nerd at heart. So that was something that was kind of easy and fun for me to do. Nobody has to follow my path because mine's kind of like a unique fingerprint of like my weird life and the things that have happened to me. But if you have something that is a passion or an interest, whether it's a club, an organization. I mean, the other thing that I'm kind of involved in are a lot of different charitable organizations, and part of my business includes, giving uh, part of my commission to a charity at the end, and that commission can be driven by my clients. So, you can always find little inroads that are personal to you that make you stand out because of who you are. So these are things that kind of go down my path of drama nerd, whatever, international gal. Um, but everybody has their own things that are, kind of cool and interesting and unique. It's like leverage those things. That would be what I would say. And then it's very authentic and you come across much more authentic.
Oh, it's so much easier to live to who you are. Who you are. And that's what builds meaningful relationships, right? We can only be surface level for so long, and it's hard to build a true connection. So, thank you, Janet. This was amazing. Good to hear about all your stories. Always, if you guys haven't already, Kim did drop her YouTube channel down at the bottom in the chat. Go on there, help a girl out, follow, like,
Yes,
subscribe,
subscribe,
comment,
subscribe.
do everything you can, you guys. Again, Janet, thank you so much for joining
Thank
us. Go
you.
out this weekend, you guys. Make it a productive one. Go get another open house if you don't have one already. Go out and call those leads that you were worried about calling. It's time now to take action because we've got a good market coming ahead. So, you guys, thank you.
Thank
Talk to you
you.
all later. Thanks,
Bye,
Kim.
everybody.
Thanks again, Janet.
Thank you, Janet.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Thank you, Janet.
Thanks, guys. Thank you, Janet.
Bye.
Thank you, Haley. Thank you, Jen.
So great.